Dating can feel like a maze sometimes. You meet someone, you click, and suddenly you're navigating this unspoken rulebook of what love is supposed to be. But here's the problem. Some of the things we've been told about dating, they're straight up lies. Not in a conspiracy theory kind of way, but in a we've been conditioned to believe certain things that actually don't serve us kind of way. The worst part? These lies are everywhere. In movies, in songs, in advice from friends who swear they know what they're talking about. And if you believe them, they can mess up your relationships before they even start. They make you settle for less, chase the wrong people, or worse, lose yourself in the process. So today, let's talk about 5 of the biggest dating lies people fall for, and why believing them might be ruining your chances at real, healthy love. But before we dive in, here's a question for you. What's the worst dating advice you've ever heard? Maybe it was something a friend told you, something you read online, or even something you believed for a while before realizing it was total nonsense. Drop your answer in the comments. I can't wait to see the wild advice people have been given. All right then, let's get into it. One of the most damaging lies out there is the idea that a relationship will complete you, that once you find the one, everything will suddenly fall into place. You'll finally feel whole. Your insecurities? Gone. Your bad days? Fixed. Life will just be better. Sounds nice, right? But here's the reality. No relationship, no matter how amazing, is going to fill a void inside you. Because the truth is, fulfillment doesn't come from a relationship. It comes from you. When you rely on a partner to make you feel complete, you give away your power. You start thinking, I can't be happy until I find someone. And that's how people end up in relationships where they accept bare minimum effort because they'd rather be with someone than be alone. But here's the thing. Being single isn't some waiting room for real life to begin. Your happiness, your growth, your success, those things happen with or without a partner. And when you build a life that fulfills you on your own, the relationships you attract will be healthier because you'll be choosing someone to add to your life, not someone to fix it. And speaking of things that need fixing, let's talk about another huge lie. If you just work at it, the relationship will work out. This one gets people stuck in relationships that should have ended months, sometimes even years ago. Because sure, every relationship takes effort, but not every relationship is meant to last. There's this idea that love is supposed to be hard, that if things aren't working, you just need to try harder. And that's dangerous because it makes people feel like giving up on a bad relationship means they failed. But here's the truth. Sometimes, no matter how much effort you put in, 2 people just aren't right for each other. And that's okay. A breakup doesn't always mean something went wrong. Sometimes, it just means you've outgrown each other, or that you were never truly compatible in the first place, but you kept holding on because the idea of losing them was scarier than the reality of staying. But forcing something that isn't working? That's not love. That's fear. The healthiest thing you can do for yourself is recognize when a relationship is no longer serving you. Not everything is meant to be fixed. Sometimes, letting go is the best thing you can do for yourself and for the person you're with. Now, let's talk about labels, because apparently labels aren't important anymore. Or at least, that's what people say when they don't want to commit but also don't want to lose you. Look, if 2 people genuinely don't care about labels, cool. If you're both on the same page and happy, then there's no problem. But more often than not, one person wants clarity while the other is avoiding it. And that's where the problem starts. When someone says, "Why do we need labels? Isn't what we have enough?" What they're really saying is, I don't want to define this because it benefits me not to. And that's fine, unless you need clarity, unless you want to know where this is going. And if you're left feeling uncertain, constantly wondering if this is real, or if you're just wasting your time, then guess what? Labels do matter. Clear communication is important in any relationship. If someone can't tell you what you mean to them, that's not deep or romantic. It's avoiding accountability. Love isn't just about emotions. It's also about intention. And if someone's intentions are vague, that's usually intentional. And then there's the phrase that sounds deep and wise, but in reality just leads to misunderstandings. If they wanted to, they would. This idea that if someone really cared, they'd just know exactly what you need and show up accordingly. But real life, it doesn't work like that. People aren't mind readers. Just because something is obvious to you doesn't mean it's obvious to them. Some people express love differently. Some people don't know what you need because you've never told them. And that's not because they don't care, it's because they aren't you. If you feel like someone isn't showing up for you in the way you need, talk to them. Communication isn't just about what we say, it's about what we expect. Instead of assuming they don't care, ask yourself, have I actually told them what I need? Because more often than not, people do want to do better. They just don't know how. And if they do know and still don't change, then that tells you everything you need to know. And finally, let's talk about one of the biggest lies, this idea that being low maintenance makes you more attractive. That if you ask for too much, if you have too many feelings, you'll scare people away. So instead, you keep your needs small. You go along with whatever they want. You bite your tongue when something bothers you because you don't want to be difficult. And at first, this works. You seem easygoing, agreeable, fun to be around. But over time, you start to notice something. You don't feel like yourself in the relationship. You feel like a watered-down version of who you are because you're constantly putting their needs first while ignoring your own. Real relationships aren't built on who can ask for the least. They're built on mutual trust, on feeling safe enough to be yourself. If you're afraid that expressing your feelings will push someone away, then they were never the right person to begin with. You don't have to shrink yourself to be loved. The right person will appreciate you because of your depth, not in spite of it. At the end of the day, dating is hard enough without believing in things that set you up for failure. Love isn't about finding someone to complete you, forcing something that's not working, or avoiding labels because they make things complicated. It's not about testing people to see if they'll magically meet your unspoken expectations, and it's definitely not about silencing yourself to seem more attractive. If you've fallen for any of these lies before, don't beat yourself up. We all have. The key is recognizing them for what they are and choosing something better. And if you found this video helpful, you need to watch our video on 8 toxic things parents say to their children, because a lot of the beliefs we carry about love and relationships, they start in childhood. Click on it now, and let's break the cycle together. And don't forget to subscribe to Psych Bites for more bite-sized insights on love, psychology, and the way our minds work. See you in the next one.